obviously in this journey, there's not just us, there's a lot of people around us who are involved as well, whether it be partners, carers. For me, I have a 5 and 9-year-old as well. So I guess I wanted to hear your perspective on what things there are or how they can cope with this diagnosis and this disease alongside of us. Because as I said, it's not just about us all the time, it's also about the people that are in our lives.
I think that's a really important question, and it's a lot of levels to that question. I'll start with partners first, because partners are in a tricky situation because they're both wanting to support, and yet they've got their own issues around life's change for them as well. And most people in couples don't want to burden each other with all their pains and grief and losses around these things. But communication is important as well. Saying that, people will deal with things differently. Some people are more proactive and want to get things done. Other people put their head in the sand. They find it's too overwhelming, so they just get on with things and pretend nothing happens. So being aware of your partner's coping strategies is really important, as being aware of yours too, which is also very important. It's important to try and get as many normal couple things in, keeping up intimacy in your relationship if you can, keeping up date nights, even if they may look different, is important as well. Couple time as opposed to parenting couple time, couple time is important, not to give up on that, because the couple unit is very strong. Pre-planning for the future when things do change. Having real talks about that if your partner can, because sometimes they can't, they don't want to go there. And you know, that's where they may be at. If that's the case, you might have to go there yourself and present it to them at a later date, and accept that, you know, for them just being there, and maybe they're great at helping out, doing the dishes, doing the cooking, doing things like that, is their way of helping, and your way might be planning for the future. So different roles couples might have in dealing with that. Some people use couple therapy to help with some of those communication issues and dealing with the big scary things in the closet that they're scared to bring out because they're worried about upsetting the other, because that happens a lot with couples. With children, usually young children, they're aware things are different, but they're not really aware of what it actually is and what it means. They probably haven't got as much, I'm talking about, you know, under 10, 5, probably haven't got as much insight into the long-term impacts of all this and what it means for them and the family and how things have changed. They might know mum or dad struggles a bit doing physical stuff, but for them it's their norm as well. With something genetic, once they understand and they're a bit older, they're maybe a bit worried about happening to them, and getting a good psycho ed on what that means, and if they've been tested or haven't been tested, or I don't know, and what therapies are available and the future therapies that can be available. So some hope for them as well. Keeping things in terms of their age appropriate information. I think that's important too. You don't have to give them all the big details. You may just say, eventually, you know, things aren't going to work and I might have to use a wheelchair, but that means I can still do this, this, and this. But reassuring them that it's not they've done nothing wrong. You know, they haven't been bad, it's made you sick, none of those things. You know, this is just happening to mum because it's in her body, and or dad, it's because it's in his body, and they still love you and they'll do as much as we can. And just that reassurance. Noticing if they act out in any way, shape or form. Kids can act out by sort of pulling away or getting more emotional in their outbursts, and just being aware of that and having other people that they can talk to. You might tell the school that this is going on, like have a school counsellor around, just to keep an eye on them, get some feedback, how they're travelling at school, what are their friendship groups like. I mean, the social structure is really important for children as well. having that sort of good friends, school understanding what the situation is, and you being aware of what's going on at home.